just saw Rock of Ages.
Yes.
I liked it.
This is the 80s hair metal tribute musical
Yeah.
based on a, I suppose, hit Broadway play. I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's a hit. They don't usually make movies about flops.
Yeah. It's touring at least, so it's gotta be decent. Basically kind of a standard love story with like the two main characters. There's also a thing like, I don't know if this is an actual place I want it to be, but the Bourbon Room is a bar in LA, and they're going under, but they're gonna have
It's supposed to be like an analog for CBGBs.
possibly, but they're going under. But then Stacey Jackson, who's Tom Cruise, is gonna come play, and he's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna like save the bar, and it's gonna be cool. But
I really thought from the trailers that him playing there was going to be like the finale of the movie.
yeah, like he'd show up and like,
I thought it was,
I rock.
yeah, and the day
Todd
is
Pease.
saved. I thought it was going to be this build up and he was like not going to sing and then he was going to get on stage and he was going to do some big show-stopping number and the day was going to be saved from the power of rock.
I was thinking something like that, but maybe just like the whole time's like, we're doing okay, we've got these measly acts, but we need to save our bar, and there's some ladies across the street that hate our guts.
That didn't really come to mind.
What if we get Stacey Jackson to come and perform? And then they go through all this trouble to get him, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it, and he comes up and saves the bar, and yeah, everybody's happy.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Stacey Jack's performance was like the beginning of the second act.
Yeah.
Um,
But that one he had like kind of two like landmark important performances. One was like, the
His
first one
last
was his
performance
last
with his band.
performance with the band Arsenal before his solo tour. And then the second performance he did was like his first solo performance, so they were both kind of big.
they didn't actually do the solo performance.
Yeah, they had the other band play, and
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, I like their song, I'm singing it now.
Journey?
Yeah,
Healing
but Journey
Power of
doesn't exist in this world.
Don't ever say that. We're, and you as well, coming at this from different directions. I'm not really into hair metal.
I fucking love it.
Same.
So the music didn't really do all that much for me. I didn't really know any of the songs except for Don't Stop Believin' until the chorus came in. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I heard that once before. That was pretty much my reaction to every song in the movie. And so without the songs to pull you along and get you invested, I wasn't really invested in any of the characters. The two leads, there's the girl from a small town coming into town with stars in her eyes, gonna be a big, deal. And there's the boy working in the rock bar with dreams.
It's like, I'm gonna be a singer, I can play guitar, I've got a band, and they all work here too.
Yeah, they weren't good.
Not really.
Their performances did nothing for me. I couldn't
Yeah.
give less of a shit what happened to them
Yeah.
throughout the movie. But Tom Cruise was way better than I expected him to be.
Yeah. Then again, I expected him to suck completely, and he was alright,
Yeah.
so.
He had some of that like rock star swagger. I kind of
Yeah.
believed him as a rock star.
I kind of forgot he was Tom Cruise at one point, which is kind of the point of acting.
Paul Giamatti, he was pretty good. There wasn't really much to his role, but
His name was still Paul.
he was good in it.
That's annoying.
The best part of this movie, the best characters, the best actors in this movie were Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand. They were both really funny. Anytime they were on screen together, it was really entertaining. And they had what we all agree is the best moment of the movie. I want to get to that in a little bit.
I'm not even sure I want to spoil it, because it's like, it comes out of nowhere and will take people by surprise.
And don't spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
No.
I think it's okay if we just scream spoilers a few times before we talk about it.
Okay, just spoilers,
Um,
and then we'll put in the description like when it's when you can skip ahead to.
We'll just put that at the end after we give our scores.
Okay.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, she was alright, but again, she didn't really do all that much
Yeah.
in terms of the story. She's like the main antagonist. She's supposed to be the one trying to shut down their bar, and it doesn't really feel like she's doing anything, you know?
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston, brilliant actor, totally wasted in this role. He had a total of like 4 scenes.
Yeah.
That's it.
And one of them, he was like getting into some S&M in the back of a church, I guess.
Yeah, tied up with rosaries.
Tied up with rosary beads.
Getting
being
spanked
whacked
with a ruler.
The nun's ruler. Which that's what nuns' rulers are for, but...
Yes. Pleasing Bryan Cranston. So, the performances were mixed. Some were really good, some were really bad. Well, not really bad, just flat and nothing really to them. The story was pretty standard, the main love story. There were a few things in there that did surprise me and did work really well. And so, for me, without a love for the music to pull me through it, I thought it was okay. I'd give it a 5.
Alright, so I was like born and raised on hair metal, like 6th to 10th grade. It was like all I would listen to pretty much, just hair metal nonstop. So I do really like the songs, and I guess like if you really like the songs, you can sing along with them and it'll be fun. But if you really, really like the songs and you don't want people to fuck them up, you might be slightly disappointed at certain performances, but for the most part, it's fun. You can sing along. We were singing along most of the time. So if you like hair metal, you like 80s movies, you're gonna like it. If you like strippers, you're going to be somewhat entertained because the one girl ends up working at a strip club.
I like strippers, but I was disappointed because everyone was just in lingerie.
Yeah, and they were more acrobats than strippers. None of them were like actually dancing or like...
Yeah, the stuff they were doing wasn't so much sexy as it was kind of impressive.
Yeah, it's like we're hanging off a pole with one leg and we're spinning around, and now I'm doing the human flag thing. And maybe someone would pelvic thrust at some point, but you didn't see like any nudity. Like there was a close-up on Tom Cruise's ass at one point. He was an assless chaps, but he had like a Speedo on.
God damn it.
Just like her, I was also born and raised on hair metal. My father would have me listen to Van Halen from...
It sounded like a punishment.
like 60s music.
You got a
All
D?
the way to 90s
You're gonna listen to a whole Van Halen album.
You're not even good
No,
Van
it was
Halen. You have to
actually
listen
a
to Van
punishment,
Hagar.
Like, one of the greatest things that he did was to, in order to get me out of bed, he turned on the song Jump. And that would just like, I mean, if you've actually listened to that song, it's actually a pretty good one just like to wake up to.
I guess.
But aside from that, I mean, yeah, I mean the strippers, if you like strippers, it wasn't really that impressive. As she said before, there was a lot of things going on in that movie. I mean,
It's just like, this is the strip club. All the strippers are way up there.
this is the strip club. Here it is. Hi, you're gonna work here at a strip club.
You're gonna be
All
a
right,
waitress,
so-
make $5 all night, while the girl hanging upside down from the ceiling is gonna make $5,000 in an hour.
And we're just gonna do like some simple turns on the pole and then just
Yeah.
start climbing up it, do some weird little tricks that aren't even that like sexy. It's just more
Yeah.
entertainment
There's
than
a
anything.
little bit of like leg
It was a Cirque
spreading
du
and
Soleil
grind.
strip club.
Yeah, the Cirque du Soleil of strip clubs. There's like some like really widespread legs and like somebody grinded on a pole at one point, but really disappointing strippers.
I'd have to say another funny part of that movie was during that strip club when the guy's feeling up her ass and just kind of like goes underneath. She just turns and
Just
throws the
drink at him.
drink right at him. I thought that was a bit funny, but I mean that's kind of typical.
Yeah. But I do like that after the main girl becomes a stripper, and the guy like got picked up by Stacey Jax's agent or manager, and now he's trying to make it big. And he's told a million times, like, oh, rock and roll is like out the door. No one's doing that anymore. You know what's big? Boy bands. So he winds up in a boy band. And they meet up behind the Hollywood sign at one point, and like, they're like reflecting on their lives, and they're like, they're trying to figure out who's got it worse now, and she just yells, "I'm a stripper at the Venus Club." He
Yeah,
yells,
well, I'm in a boy band.
just, you win.
I mean, that's just like they get into a huge fight because.
Don't get into why.
What?
Don't get into why. If we're not spoiling stuff.
All right, well.
Just they get into a big
I
fight.
won't
They
spoil
break up
anything, but they get into a big fight, and then they just kind
because
of
of a
like, figure
wacky
out-
misunderstanding.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
a
those
huge
wacky
misunderstanding at this point. So.
Like, even Mitsudomo, I would say,
And then
hey, that doesn't make
all of a
sense.
sudden, like, he finished his song, gives it to her, saying, like, that song that was about the two of us, I finished it here. If you could take a look, if you could take a listen to this, then all of a sudden she just like falls right back in love with him.
Plus, he finds all her stolen records at a record store that all have her name written on them, and a guy would have had to turn them in and say, "Yeah, I'm selling my records." But it's got Sherry written in pink with like hearts dotting the eyes.
I'm Sherry. I'm selling my records.
You're not Sherry.
Yes, I am. I'm completely Sherry.
Like,
Oh.
and she had good records that weren't even used. Like, she had a Lita Ford album, and she's my favorite Runaway. And she could have done, like, Kiss Me Deadly as she was stripping. Maybe it was in the play. I haven't seen it yet. I wouldn't know, but...
I have a feeling they kept all the music.
There was a lot of great bands and songs that played in this movie. They could have done a little bit better with some of them. Like, I mean, it was all hair metal, yes. And there were a couple other great hair metal bands that they could have added and or switched out for some other songs. Some of them I didn't really understand why they put it in there, especially in the timing for where they were at. A couple others they could have made something and put in, like, say, Holy Diver from Dio. That would have made a great one.
Who?
Don't worry about that, Brian. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
They did have almost all of my favorite Def Leppard songs, though. Like, if they just added Love Bites, that would have been amazing, but they didn't have it.
That actually
fuck.
that would have worked too.
Yeah.
Right as they got into that big fight, and then the whole like breakup scene.
No, not even that, man. This was the 80s. You could put in Jay Giles.
Jay Giles.
They could've.
Centerfold.
I was thinking at the exact same moment you were talking about Love Stinks.
That would work
No.
too. But Love
Not
Bites.
Love
They could have
Stinks,
done
Love
Love
Bites.
Bites instead of Heart in My Heart, because I don't really consider that to be like an awesome 80s song. Like when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's from the 80s.
Oh, shh. All right, keep going.
But, oh.
It's probably not going to explode. My hands are starting to shake pretty bad.
We'll make this quick then.
Otherwise,
Well, I got a couple more things I want to say.
Okay.
I know that I really liked this movie. I'm coming on to one of the same standpoints as she is. I am a huge fan of the 80s rock. Within this movie, even though the love story was standard, based on the music that was added into it, I would have to rate it an 8.5 to a 9. If I were to add the actual storyline to it, I'd probably rate it down to an 8 to a 7.5. But the one last thing that I want to add is, with the love story, it is common to see in a lot of movies, a huge fight, break up, come back together, all is well. In the music world, it also happens a lot too, for those that may not know the music world. There's always a girlfriend or a wife or a lover of some sort. Then they get into a huge fight, break up, but they don't come back together. In the movie, this actually made a little twist on it. This band actually came back together. This couple came back together by the end of the movie. But I mean, I guess
You need
they
your
kinda
happy
had to
ending.
do
It's
it.
a musical.
Upbeat musical, that kind of stuff has to happen.
They kind of had to do it for that
Yeah.
reason. But if it were going based on the sense of an actual music genre type of love scene, it wouldn't have happened.
I'd have to give this an 8 because I liked the songs. Well, not all the songs. I don't like Paradise, but it was a pretty standard story, but there were a couple good performances, like Russell Brand. I'm always expecting him to kind of suck, but he still, I find him rather entertaining. And I really had fun like watching this, dancing around, singing in the audience, so that was fun. So I'd give it an 8 because it's lacking in some areas, but it had a baboon. 50 bottles of people. It's fun.
Okay, couple things I remembered I wanted to talk about. There was this Hispanic dude who was awesome, and he was just kind of in the background. He didn't get a song. I wanted him to get a song, but whatever. And the other thing, the thing that really kind of pissed me off right in the first act, was the main character, the male lead. He starts out, he wants to be a rock star, working in a bar, all this. He's talking to the girl. He says, no, I'll never make it. She says, why? He says, I have stage fright. Never addressed in the movie.
Yeah.
The only reason we know he has stage fright because he said, I have stage fright.
And then he did go on stage, and I thought, well, he's facing towards the band. Maybe he does have stage fright. But then, as soon as I thought that, he turned around. I'm like,
I want to rock.
so I guess he doesn't have stage fright. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he starts off like, as soon as he gets on there, he just shouts off to the crowd, I want to rock.
Like, did
Like-
you hear me? I want to rock.
Like, what are we supposed to think by that? Like, is he gonna actually play a song, or is he just shouting off randomly to the band?
Give me a rock.
And then he just...
Igneous.
He goes back and says, did you hear me?
I want to rock.
I want to rock!
Okay.
And I saw the SpongeBob movie before I heard the actual song, so all I could think was, I'm a goofy goober.
Yeah. Okay, and now, big spoilers, best scene in the movie.
Yes.
Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
Spoiler.
If you're going to go see it, again, I would say only go see it if you really love this kind of music.
Yeah.
On its own merits, it's just an average movie. The music is what's going to elevate it for you. But if you do love this music, turn this off, go see the movie.
Yeah.
The best moment in the movie is the one love story in it that actually worked, which was Russell Brand and Alec Baldwin.
You kind of don't want to see them kiss, but when they do, it's amazing, and you're like, oh, I love that.
And it was hilarious to hear the guys in the theater trying to like maintain their masculinity, like, oh, that was gross. Shut up.
Yeah.
But it was also the best musical number of the movie.
It was. Like, REO Speedwagon. Come
Yeah,
on.
I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. With a montage of them like on a Ferris wheel, miniature golfing.
It wasn't a Ferris wheel, it was a carousel. 'Cause
Carousel.
They're going up and
Yeah,
down on a
okay,
horse,
yeah,
and they're like,
carousel.
ha ha! And like Russell Brand first applying for the job, and he's
Like,
kind of like
spinning his hair around his
like
finger,
twirling his hair, putting out his
brushing
way.
their fingers against each
like
other
this,
as
yeah,
they
like
pass
the
the thing
fingers
across.
touch.
It was actually unexpected. I did not really see it coming.
I did like how it came out though. It was like, because Alec Baldwin was like pissed off. He's like,
I've let everybody
everyone down, and then Russell Brand just
not.
not everyone. And then the music starts up, and like, yes, I love this song. They start singing, I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. Alec Baldwin joins in, and then like Alec Baldwin like picks up Russell Brand, and they're spinning and they're singing, and they kiss, and it's really beautiful. And then like some guy's like, hey, someone is asking for you. He's like, tell him I'm busy falling in love.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing scene, and
Yeah,
I wish
that part was actually really cute and sweet.
it was cute. It was cheesy, but it was cute.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the best scene in the movie. That was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
So I kind of wish they would have like addressed it later on in the movie, like even like at the final concert at the end, like them just like raising their hands up and holding hands as they're cheering on
Yeah.
the people
That
they
was.
store.
I thought it was actually kind of mature, especially for this movie, and in the way it dealt with it. It was like, this happened. They're dating.
Yeah,
That's it.
It's like-
It's not the focus of the movie. They're side characters.
yeah. It's
But-
a lot of times there's any LGBT portrayal. There's more letters than that, but I don't have time
Q.
to name off all the letters. Q, and there's like A's and I's and now. But like yes, there's I's in there. But anytime you see it, it's like it's a big thing. It's a huge deal.
Yeah,
But
it's
in
the
real
focus
life,
of the movie.
it's really not a big deal. It's just like these guys are in love and they're dating now, and now the story continues.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice because that's how life really works.
It's kind of surprisingly mature take on it
Yeah.
for this movie. So yeah, that was the best scene in the movie. We all agree.
Yes.
That was cool.